to my channel. This one might be a little bit of a dicey video for some of you out there, but I found it too interesting. I can't help myself. I have to talk about this. Anyway, before we get into what's going on, I'm gonna try to remain as neutral as possible. I cannot make any guarantees on that one. I think this is a story that is both funny and scary at the same time. Whether you feel it's one or the other, maybe you feel it's neither. Somehow, that's going to depend on you. I am not personally condemning any personal political beliefs. I am just coming from this from an outside perspective. Also, for those of you who want to know the real irony of what we're talking about today, you will want to wait till the end of the video as I share a little bit of a tidbit to show that I'm actually a little bit more of a Donald Trump fan than you might realize in certain areas, although it's really not going to seem that way. And again, this is a very, very complicated one. You're going to have to watch the whole thing to understand what's going on. So, as you probably figured out from the title, something popped up today. It trended on Twitter. A lot of people got emails about it, and it confused them because an email has been spreading asking his supporters to sign up for a Trump card. Now, I was wondering, what is a Trump card? Is Donald Trump getting into the credit card business? Because if he is, that would actually be funny and logical at the same time. Funny because this guy did file bankruptcy a few times, at least a few of his companies did, and now here he is actually selling, giving out credit. That's going to be his new business model. You know, it's funny, but then at the same time, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if you stop and think about it, it's even got a catchy name. The slogan sells itself. Like, want to be treated luxuriously on your vacation. Pull out your Trump card because the Trump card trumps all other credit cards. I mean, it's a thing that writes itself when you stop and think about it. So I was actually, before I read what was actually going on, thinking like, oh yeah, maybe a Trump credit card. That kind of makes sense, to be honest. And it was not a Trump credit card. It was a Trump supporter card. So I was thinking, okay, maybe the idea is you can get points when you buy stuff on Trump's store. It's not as exciting, to be honest, but it also kind of makes sense. There's some die-hard Donald Trump fans out there, so he could sell new books and merchandise on the website. And hey, you use the Trump card, you collect points, and you get $5 off the next purchase, depending on how much stuff you buy. And the Trump supporters will buy a lot of things. Like I should know. My mother-in-law is a die-hard Trump supporter. Anything that has Trump's face on it, she wants. And for the record, no, we do not talk politics. We talk movies, her daughter, dogs, things like that. But she would probably sign up for a Trump card that would get her points because she probably would buy enough stuff to actually get a $5 certificate. But that's not what this is either. No, what the Trump card is, if I am reading this correctly, is it is basically a loyalty card. A loyalty to what? A store, a brand, an organization? No, it is a loyalty card to Trump it's himself. So for those of you who have not seen what the Trump cards look like. And forgive the Twitter comment on the side. It does not necessarily reflect my opinion. It's just what I could find. But these are what the Trump cards actually look like. And I'm not gonna lie, not too shabby. I like some of the designs. One of them's particularly problematic, and another one they should have probably checked before they put up. Actually, maybe two of them they should have checked. But look, red card. Maybe there's gold letterings on them. They all have his signature on them. So, design wise, for the most part, not terrible. Although, again, there's at least one that I have a major issue with, and another one that, I don't have an issue with, but it's just funny to think about. But so, design wise, Not bad, but again, what do they actually do? And what they do is this is basically a card that supporters of Donald Trump have just to show they support Donald Trump. So, yeah, that's I've got some issues with that. I've got some concerns about that. That's where the video is going to get a little dicey. But let's take a look at this article that's written by Yahoo News that describes the cards. Um, but Donald Trump supporters were asked in fundraising emails on Wednesday to choose between four golden cards with the former U.S. president's signature on the front because, quote, they always know best. Yeah. And no, these are not NFTs. These are actual cards, as far as I can tell. He added the so-called, this is Trump, that the so-called Trump cards will be, quote, carried by patriots all around the country. They will be a sign of your dedicated support to our movement to save America. Yeah, getting a little concerning here, obviously. The Trump campaign said the official Trump cards were for President Trump's strongest supporters and that he asked his fans for their advice on four designs. And the person who put this together said, we recently met with the president in his Florida office and showed him four designs. Originally, we were planning on releasing just one design. But when the president saw the cards on the desk, he said, these are beautiful. We should let the American people decide. They always know best. Which I'm wondering if that they always know best line includes the people who voted for Biden in the majority and wanted him as president instead of Trump. I'm just wondering if he includes those people. Just a thought. Again, I'm coming from this from an outside perspective. I do not take this nearly as seriously as some people do. All right. So the email showed four designs featuring an American flag background, a golden eagle, his official seal. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Donald Trump has an official seal. Again, getting a little creepy, don't you think? Um, and the words official Trump card, all of the cards featuring his signature, which makes sense. So, here's the thing. I'm on one hand, again, I think this is funny. I think this is absolutely funny. I mean, on the base surface level, this might be nothing more than a way to basically fundraise some more. And why do I say that? Because, well, the website that you go to get a Trump card, which I will not be getting, but hey, if anyone happens to get a Trump card and wants me to overlook the design on this channel, I've got a P.O. box below. Send it to me. I will give you full credit. I'm not entirely happy about what you would have to do to get that card, but I will look at it in more detail if someone wants to send one my way. I will not be getting one because the only way so far to get one is to go to Donald Trump's campaign or website fundraising thing. I don't even know because is he running for president again? We don't know, but he is fundraising for something, and you got to give at least $25 to get a Trump card. And I assume if you want all four designs, which I'm sure the hardcore Trump enthusiasts will certainly want, you'll probably have to give more. You can give all the way up to $2,500, I think. I'm not giving that for a Trump card. Maybe I'll pay $1 for it on eBay down the road, or maybe one of my viewers, because I know I have Trumpsters in here, maybe they will graciously give me one and mail it to me, and then we can get another video out of this. I don't know if they're going to want to when they hear my opinion on what this could be used for, but it's just my opinion. So on the surface, it's just like a little thank you gift for people who give money. That's basically what it is on the surface. Like, and if I were like maybe a unconcerned American, I would just leave it at that. But I'm also wondering if this has some deeper, more sinister implications. Because here's the thing, I've lived through several presidents. I lived through the first term presidency of George H.W. Bush. I do not recall people losing this much sleep over George H.W. Bush losing the presidency. And there are people who did not like Bill Clinton. There are people who still don't like Bill Clinton. I actually think he's okay. I like them both for the record. And but when Trump lost, I know people who basically have not stopped spinning since it happened. Now, in all fairness, yeah, the media overreacted. Hillary Clinton supporters, they've reacted just as poorly as Trump supporters are acting now. I think it's healthy for you, if no one else, when your candidate loses to say, all right, my candidate lost, my guy didn't get into office, or my girl, because there's eventually going to be a female president. They didn't get in, so lick my wounds for a day or two, get back to life. I can vote again in 4 years. That should be the healthy response to things like this, but it's not. People are believing very, very weird things about this election, and that's why, and it's the main reason the Trump cards concern me right now. Because right now we are going through a pandemic, and we are getting ever so closer to having vaccine passports. New York City has just announced that if you want to do an indoor activity, you will have to prove you're vaccinated. Now, that, despite what some people are saying, is for health reasons. It's for health reasons. Some people don't believe that. Believe what you want. But the interesting thing is, people who are complaining about this say it is un-American to card someone for this to get into the establishment. Well, now there is a Trump card. And I'm thinking, so aside from the loyalty it shows Donald Trump because I guess you're giving him money, you're getting this card. Like, is this going to be the rights version of the vaccine passport? I mean, there's that guy in Huntington Beach who's not very far from me. In fact, might take 10 minutes to get over there, who has that sign up. He's become kind of famous. Like, he will only serve you if you're unvaccinated. Is he now going to demand, like, hey, if you want to patronage this restaurant, you have to have a Trump card? Like, this is the only way you can get in. And look, fair is fair. He's allowed to do it. You are allowed to deny people for pretty much any reason you want, unless it's for sexism or racism. You can't do that, obviously. But are we going to start seeing conservative business owners say, "You have a Trump card? No? Well, I guess you can't shop here." I mean, again, they're allowed to do it, although it's very, very ironic that this suggestion is already floating on Twitter and Facebook. And these are the very people who are objecting to the vaccination passports, even though the vaccination passports have, doctors behind them, because there's a pandemic and there's a virus that can kill people and is killing people, and we're trying to get out of this pandemic so we don't have to worry about it anymore. I mean, apparently you can object to that, but these people are now going to use the Trump cards to basically do their own form of discrimination. I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. Personally, I just find it hilarious. Now, there's another thing, because aside from the fact that this is already sounding just, I hate to use this term, but it's kind of getting there. It's a little cultish at this point. Like, guys, look, I actually thought Trump was a decent president. I don't think he was nearly as bad as people said he was. But the thing is, he lost, and I'm gonna move on. I don't see the need to be super loyal to this man. Oh, the heck! I wish he would get off the election stuff and go back to hosting The Apprentice, because I actually enjoyed watching the Apprentice. But it's bad enough that this already feels a little cultish, but one of the designs is especially problematic, and it might be this one. And you might be saying, okay, what's the problem with that? I mean, American Eagle. I mean, well, if you move it over and you look at another symbol, well, that's that's a little concerning, isn't it? So now did they mean to do that? Probably not. It might honestly just be a mistake. Kind of like when when the Krispy Kreme company did like the an anniversary special, and they're like, tweet KKK to get your free donuts. Yeah, that didn't end very well. But Krispy Kreme, in all fairness, immediately issued a statement and said, "We made a big mistake. So sorry, didn't think that one through." This has actually been circulating for most of the morning, and there has been no statement. And again, the card itself doesn't do anything. It's not a credit card, it's not a points card. It's just a way to show your unwavering support to Donald Trump. And that's a little creepy, in my opinion. Like, that it just really is, especially when you put it on a card. It's like it's a membership card. So there you go. By the way, I'm going to prove my knowledge of Celebrity Apprentice, to show that yes, I uh I am definitely a fan of Celebrity Apprentice. I was a fan of The Apprentice. So here's the thing. There was a task. I think it was in the All-Star Celebrity Apprentice season, the one that Trace Atkins won. For the record, I was rooting for Penn Jillette. I mean, guy is in my he's in my engagement video, so how could I not, root for him? But Trace Atkins won, and Trace Atkins was a good choice too. Well, there was a task. They were making like a advertising campaign for a clothing lineup or something that Melania Trump was making. And Dennis Rodman was leading one team. I don't know who was leading the other team. It might have been Stephen Baldwin. Frankly, don't remember. But I do know that Dennis Rodman was leading this team. Now, in my opinion, Dennis Rodman's team came up with the better design, the better ad, better lettering. I thought that had, like, for lack of a better word, trumped the other ad. But there was a problem, and it was a big one. They misspelled Melania's name, and as a result, they instantly lost. Well, the reason that was particularly ironic in this case, in the case of the Trump card, is this one design in the corner. That's not how you spell official. That spells official. His own card. Misspelled. The thing that he fired another team for getting wrong. He made that same mistake in his own card. Now, again, I don't know how thoroughly these cards were looked over, because someone might have looked at the eagle design and said, maybe we shouldn't use that one because it looks very similar to another symbol that people are accusing you of doing. And look, I don't like accusing Trump supporters of being Nazis. I actually resent that Trump was compared to the evil Germany guy when you have Xi Jinping right across the ocean who's doing some really scary stuff right now. But look, it's getting a little creepier right now. The loyalty, the unwavering support despite all evidence, and now we've got a Trump card that does absolutely nothing but shows that you are loyal to this man. Very, very interesting stuff. So that's really all I have to say. Again, I will not be getting a Trump card because I'm not going to give Donald Trump money just to get one. Again, if anyone has an extra one and they want to send it to the PO box below, we will make a video and I will talk about it. But otherwise, this is what's going on. I'm really hoping that it starts and ends as a novelty item for Trump supporters, and that it is not at some point used for nefarious purposes. That we will just have to see. Again, I have to be careful when I make these videos because I get both sides upset, because people are like, you leave Trump alone, or it's like, well, you're giving him a pass. You must be. No, I am truly in the middle on this, folks. I think the whole thing is just silly, potentially nefarious, but it's not there yet. Right now, it's just silly. But anyway, I would like to know what you think of the Trump cards. Are you going to get a Trump card? And what do you think ultimately they're going to be used for. I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one. Now, let me lean over, or not lean over, reach over and end the video.